for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is a down payment assistant expert, helping renters and agents navigate 2,500 plus grant programs, and of course, author of the book No Down Payment, No Problem at All, founder of On the Roof, no other than Mr. John Collins.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate the warm introduction.
Welcome, welcome, Mr. John, on Book One on Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I
Sure,
missed?
absolutely. My name is John Collins. I've been hanging around the real estate world for 38 years now. Kind of flies by. It About 12 years ago, I discovered the path of down payment assistance and the struggles that renters have. There are so many down payment assistance programs and grants across the United States. Actually, they're available all over the world, but the ones that I focus on are in the U.S. Right now, I think our database is up to about 3,000 programs out there, and those are federal programs, municipal or state programs, and they're all over the place. So I find that there's never been a good, reliable source that can connect people to these different down payment assistance and grant programs. So actually, I always tell people the money is actually the easy part when it comes to purchasing a home for me. So it's not uncommon for me to be able to get people in houses with just a few $1,000s out of pocket. So just to give you some examples, New York right now has over $200,000 available to home buyers. California is 161,000. Miami has a program that is offering $200,000 in the Miami area. So uh, I would say the average person that we work with is getting, I think the number that I saw last was $38,000 on average. And the really unique thing is, a lot of times, if you are in the right spot from a maybe a credit standpoint, maybe a geographic standpoint, we can stack programs up too. So it's it's not uncommon to see two, three, four programs that we can use at once, stacking all of this grant money up to get people in with as little money out of pocket as possible. So the financial pain part is actually the easy part. It's the other pieces of the puzzle that I always that people get tripped up on. So
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. John. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And today, can we talk about your book itself? No down payment, no problem. Because
yes.
this is a book 101 review. So the title of the book is deliberately provocative. It challenges everything renters have been told about. Needing a massive down payment to buy a home. Was there a specific moment in your career when you realized that the 20% down rule was actually a myth keeping people stuck and that you needed to write this book?
Well, I realized it, gosh, probably over 30 years ago. The issue that we run into, or the biggest pain point, is that these programs have existed for many years. The problem is that most lenders only have access to one or two of them. So unless hit the lottery and pick the right lender, you're not necessarily going to learn about a lot of these programs. So I try to reshuffle things a little bit. So it used to be where you would go to your real estate agent, and your real estate agent would recommend a lender. Okay. And I have to say, about 20 years ago, the mortgage world did a really good job restacking that order, where they're like, hey, come to us first and then go to the real estate agent. When in my mind, if you really want to tap into the most amount of money out there, what we need to do is identify the programs that are out there find out which ones you qualify for, and then go to the lenders that are offering those programs, because many times the programs are, I don't want to say proprietary, but only a certain amount of lenders are able to do some programs. So we want to make sure that we're connecting you with lenders that are going to help you get as much money as possible. So, what really prompted me to write the book was about a year ago. I've been doing this for about 13 years now, and I do webinars teaching people about these programs. And no problem. There's always lots of people that want to listen, but what I found is that my messaging wasn't always there. And that's when I met a gentleman, and his name was Ted McGrath, and he actually has a book called Stage Empire. But he is the person that really changed things for me about a year ago when I went out and studied under him. He was like, "You actually need to reduce this to writing and write the book. You need to improve your messaging." And once I did those two things, things really changed dramatically for me. So the book itself, you'll see it up on Amazon, but I give it away to people because I want them to learn about these programs and how to access them. So if your listeners would like a free copy, they could just go to my website, and actually it's uh no actually the domain name is Own the Roof. So if you go to owntheroofcom/free book, you can get a copy of it downloaded right away. So that book is going to have some QR codes where you can go into databases to actually see how many programs are available in your area, or just go to my website, owntheRoof.com. Go to the program search bar, and you'll see how many programs you can qualify for.
And thank you for doing that, Mr. John. Thank you so much for empowering people all over the world to have their own house. You're targeting renters who believe homeowners is out of reach. What is the
Right.
most common thing renters say to you when they first time that zero down program exists, and what shift in their face when they realize they've been believing a lie?
Well, great question. So, the biggest hurdle that I run into right now, Daniel, and actually, this is actually a global issue right now. There is a housing crisis that is going on. In the States, I think we're short almost 3 million households. So, the fact that this isn't really discussed or at the forefront is it, it's disheartening. But this is the same story across the globe. So I always challenge people: look where you are. Go ahead and Google down payment assistance, home buyer grants. You'd be surprised what pops up. But as far as what really holds people back in my mind, at least what I wrestle with on a daily basis, is people just don't have a lot of hope. They feel like that they have to have this large down payment to purchase a home, and as a result, sometimes they think what we offer isn't real. And I get it. There's a lot of people out there that are just trying to, separate you from your money. And that's when I really pivoted and that's where I said, you know what, I'm just going to give everything away for free. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to give information. And when people need help and raise their hands, we're going to tell you, hey, these are the programs. This is how you do it. These are how you structure the transactions to get in with just a few $1,000s. Now, how we get paid is when we refer you out to some of these lenders, we're going to ask them to actually contribute to the education that you received. So right now, the biggest challenge I have is that people just don't have the hope. They don't know that these programs exist, and as a result, they don't tune in. So, but when most of the people that I work with get referred to me through friends and family, so there's some credibility coming in, but getting the masses to be in tune that these programs actually exist Uh, I don't want to say it's an uphill battle because we haven't really been doing it that long. Once we decided to give things away, like our books or our free webinars, or even if you go to my website, owntheroof.com, we actually have free digital courses there where we'll teach you how to find the programs, how to get your situation in the right place where you'll get approved for the programs, and how to structure the transactions to get in with very little money out of pocket. And if you need help with credit, because most people, that's the big thing. Like I said, money is the easy part. The second biggest thing is the credit. So, right now, with the way that the economy is, I find that the credit is starting to slide. So we also offer free credit help for people too. There's a credit repair webinar in there, 100% free. So I always tell people, please take us up on it. It's there to educate people.
Well, thank you for that again, Mr. John, to educate people. In the down payment assistance program exists in every state, yet most renters have never heard of them. Why this information is so poorly marketed, and who benefits when people don't know help is available.
Yes.
So, Mr. John, why is it? Why is not this information is not widely available to everyone?
Well, that's a great question. So I find that a lot of the banks and mortgage companies and lending institutions, they don't lead with these programs. The reason is these programs aren't profitable for them. Okay. A lot of the down payment assistance programs through the Fed or through some of the state programs, they actually dictate how much the lenders can make and what interest rates they can charge. As a result, a lot of lenders don't, I mean, they don't like to be told what to do, and they don't like to do things for margins that are less than if they offered you other products. So I'm sad to say it's purely, most of the time it's purely greed. So the programs are out there. They just choose not to point people in the direction of them. So, because there's not much paperwork to do it. There's really maybe one, two more little steps. With today's technology, um, you can submit files with the click of a button. So they can submit people to different down payment assistance organizations for approval just by clicking a button. It may take a day or two longer to get someone closed, but if you're going to receive, 10, 15, $25,000 to help with your down payment, I think it's well worth it.
Definitely, it's worth it. Mr. John, you're offering a guide to programs that can put people into homes with nothing down. But some critics might say if you can save for a down payment, you're not ready for home ownership. How do you respond to that objection?
Good question. So what I always tell people is if you are going to wait to save for the down payment, and don't get me wrong, conventional wisdom, save for your down payment, that's the way it's been done for generations. But what happens is by waiting for that down payment, you're watching the home prices increase. So if you're looking to buy a $300,000 home and it's going to take you a year to save that 10%, maybe $30,000, well, the price of that house is, if it goes up 5%, that's 315,000. Okay, you've just lost out on equity building. And a lot of these programs, these are free money. So the grants, you totally get to keep that money. Down payment assistance comes in three ways. Number one, first way, you just own the home for a certain period of time, you get to keep all the money. The other way is some programs, you get free use of the money. So they'll give you the money for the down payment, and when you sell it, you just give that same amount back. No interest, no nothing. You get free use of the money. So if that's the worst case, I mean, who wouldn't want to use money for free for 30 years? So if I got a down payment assistance program of $30,000, if someone's going to give me $30,000 to put down on a house today, and all I have to do is pay them back $30,000, maybe in 20, 30 years, and in the meantime, my house might double, triple, quadruple in price over that time. I mean, it's a no-brainer. The third way is sometimes there are down payment assistance programs where you do have to pay them back or make payments on them. I don't do those very often. Most of the ones I do, I always tell people we want to focus on the grant money first because that's free. And then we want to look at some of the down payment assistance programs as long as they're forgivable or they're paid back at a later date and don't for free use of the money.
Thank you for doing that again, Mr. John. The book promises to help renters navigate the grant programs and down payment assistance. What's the difference between a grant and a loan, and why should first time buyer care which one of they're getting?
Great. So the first thing we want to do is, for example, if you go out to my website and you do the program search, you're going to get a list of all the programs that you qualify for. So more often than not, it's not uncommon for people or certain areas to qualify for at least 10. First thing we want to do as we go through those 10, we want to identify which ones are grants and which ones are down payment assistance. So grants are free money. You get that money today, you close on a house, it's your money to keep. No strings attached. When you get into down payment assistance programs, sometimes they have strings attached to it. So the first one might be that you need to own the home for 3, 5, 7 years. So if you own the home for 5 years, boom, you get to keep all the money. So, and they promote that just to keep people from flipping houses. It's designed for home ownership. It's not designed for making money and moving on. Although we all know that's the objective. So we're trying to get a good price locked in on a house today so we can reap the benefits tomorrow and lock in our payment. Right now, I mean, rents continue to go up. They did have some statistics this past week where the rental numbers were going down a little bit, but if you look deep into those numbers, you'll find that those are the high-end rentals where the prices are coming down. The entry-level ones where people go gravitate from for first-time home buyers, those rent payments are holding steady. So typically, you'll see rents might increase at 5% per year minimum. So the nice thing is with this, locking your payment in today and riding that appreciation wave during the time of your home ownership.
Well said, Mr. John. One of the biggest fears for the first time buyers is hidden costs beyond the down payment, but other expenses catch people off guard. And how does your book prepare them of what the bank doesn't tell them?
Right. Well, the banks are doing better. They have compliance uh, things that they have to adhere to where they have to disclose all of the fees, but there are fees besides the down payment. Now, a lot of these programs can cover your closing cost as well. So if you get a down payment assistance for, uh, say, $30,000, you could use 25,000 of that for your down payment and hold back 5,000 for your closing costs. Some programs don't allow you to use your closing costs. When that's the case, there are a whole bucket of ways that we can actually get your closing costs taken care of. They can be covered partially by the seller. Lenders can actually cover your closing costs. In my book, I go over different lender techniques where a lender can cover, two, three, $4,000 of your closing fees if you structure it the right way. So, and there are other ways as well too.
There is other ways as well. You've likely seen people use these programs successfully. So tell me about a reader or client who thought ownership was impossible, and someone working multiple jobs, carrying debt, and convinced they rent forever, and what happened when they discovered the resources you outline.
Sure. So we just had one that just closed a couple of weeks ago that was probably one of my best stories. I'll give you two, actually. One is a lady that had been renting her house for 10 years, and her landlord actually promised to sell her the house at a set price 5 years ago. So, and I'll give you the numbers. Actually, the landlord offered her the house for $125,000 5 years ago. Well, right now that neighborhood's worth 200,000. So she was able to qualify for a $75,000 down payment assistance program. So we were able to take $75,000. We actually had to bump her sale price up in order to get the whole 75,000. But that with the gift of equity from the seller, it was just an incredible transaction. So we were able to cover all of her closing fees. She basically bought the house with $20 out of pocket. Now she'd been renting there for 10 years. So she is someone that never in her wildest imagination thought she would ever be buying. And then I have another lady, and this lady's kind of near and dear to my heart because she purchased a home with four different programs. She was able to qualify for a $25,000 down payment assistance program where as long as she lives in the home 5 years, she gets to keep the whole 25,000. On top of that, we were able to get her with a regional lender who was doing pushing money to the streets as part of the Community Reinvestment Act. And now is the time of year to be doing that. Right now, a lot of regional banks are pushing monies to the streets because they want to comply with the Community Reinvestment Act. So first few months of the year can be very just a great time to be buying and taking advantage of that. So we got her the 25,000. On top of that, we got her a 3% gift program that the lender was doing for community reinvestment money. In addition, we got her a $5,000 closing cost grant. And on top of that, a $500 appraisal grant. So all in, she was about $35,000, all free money. So she just lives there for a couple of years. She gets to keep it all. So, and her payment actually was come with that amount down. The payment on her house was actually a couple of $100 less than what she was paying in rent.
Thank you for sharing those amazing stories. So, John, and to wrap up our discussion for today, after someone reads your book, follows the steps, qualifies for assistance, and finally close on the first home, what do you want them to feel when they turn the key into the lock for the first time?
Boy, that sense of pride, of ownership is something that's really, really hard to describe. And in addition to that, as much as it is about yourself and winning, it's about your family as well too. So teaching the next generation that this can be done, that to me is the key. Okay, it's not always about us. We're here for a short period of time, but it is about that next generation. So giving hope for that next generation, that's where I sit right now.
Mhm. Definitely the next generation for sure. And I have one more question, Mr. John. At the very end of the book, after all the programs are explained and all the steps are outlined, what's one thing you hope every reader carries with them that has nothing to do with money? Some truth about what they deserve, what possible, and who they get to become when they stop believing a lie that home ownership is not for them.
It's amazing what's possible out there. Do not feel, I would say the biggest thing is your past does not define your future. And purchasing a home is nothing about perfection. There are no perfect buyers out there. I get people that come from situations just like mine. I've had a business failure many years ago. We all have a bruised past. So your past does not have to equal your future. So that would be my biggest gift that I could pass along.
Hmm. And thank you for that book, Mr. John. Thank you for empowering us. Thank you so much for your legacy. So, can you please invite all listeners to support your book, your business, or whatever you want to promote on Book 101 Review?
Thank you, Daniel. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. So, where do people can reach you, Mr. John?
They can reach me right through my website, owntheroof.com, OWNTHEROOF.com, and you'll see all my tools out there. You can register for my webinars. I do them, I try to do them every week, but at least 3 weeks out of the month for my How to Buy with No Money Down. And then we also have our credit building webinars, in addition to all of the classes, tools, and books that are out there. So if you need to reach me, you can certainly schedule an appointment right through that website.
And again, Mr. John Collins, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Likewise. More to come, people. See you soon.